Okay, I think it's recording.
Ooh. It definitely is, because stuff is happening.
Ooh, there's a wave.
A wave of regret.
A wave of regret. God, you scared me then. I thought someone was there. No. Oh my God. You just looked at my door and I was like, shit.
Fits with the theme, though.
It does fit with the theme.
Creep show crew.
Creep show crew in the house.
So I'm Liv.
I'm Dee. And we are
The Creep Show Crew.
Woo, woo, woo.
That was Davina's idea. In case someone wants to take the piss out of the name, it was Davina's idea.
It wasn't just me. It was, okay, so my flatmate, my ex-flatmate, Lawrence, I was like, I don't know what to call this because Horror Movie Club was already taken.
I mean, to be
Shameless
fair.
plug. Shameless plug to Horror Movie Club, even though you probably will never know what this is. So Creep Show Crew was the next best thing.
This is not a spoiler-free podcast.
No, it really isn't. So the reason what is this podcast?
This is a distraction from depression.
Yes. Apart from that, because that's too relatable.
I mean, I only speak the truth.
You only do. Liv only speaks the truth. Literally, the other day, right? I think I've told this story so many times, but she's seen me first time in like a few weeks, and the first thing she says to me is not, "Oh, hi, Davina, how are you?" It's, "Oh my God, have your boobs gotten bigger?" They had.
I was just a bit surprised.
They were the only thing she was looking at.
I was just
I
a
was
bit
like,
surprised.
wow.
You know, coming from someone who was like out of the friendship group, always had the biggest boobs. I never enjoyed it. I always hated it. But it was a bit odd for someone else to come along all of a sudden and be like, woo!
Gone from an A to a D.
Literally. I don't know why we're talking about boobs. This is not what this podcast is.
It really isn't.
This
It really
is.
isn't.
We're going to watch some horror films.
And we're going to talk about them.
Funnily.
Because
that's a word.
I
I did a creative
English
writing degree, everyone. You can tell that it went to good use. Humorously, that's the word I was looking for.
Humorously, that's the one.
Brilliant.
Rest in peace to our, not even our debt, because our debt is still...
That's very much alive.
It's still
That's
so
the only
alive.
thing that is alive.
Literally. Our souls, nada. Our brain cells, gone. All cremated.
My funeral was last week.
I knew it. I can't believe I missed it. I'm
It was
so
a lovely
sorry.
affair. It really was.
I bet it was.
So, we're going to kick off this podcast with The Orphanage.
Dun, dun, dun. Insert dramatic music. Yeah.
Excuse me.
God damn it.
So this is a Spanish film directed by Del Toro.
No, it was produced by Del Toro.
I'm so sorry, that was such a lie.
Can't believe we're lying to our listeners.
I already don't like our listeners.
Literally, even though our listeners are probably going to be what, our parents?
Hi Mom!
Hi Mom, hi Dad!
Thank you for what you've done for me.
Don't hate me for the swear word, yeah, cool, thanks.
I can't not swear, it's literally like...
It's ingrained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's ingrained.
So...
Yes, so it's directed by J.A Bayona. Pretty sure it's one of his first works, which, as a debut film, holy shit.
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
We can just end it there. That's all we need.
That's all we need to say. End the podcast. See you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, bye.
Hope this was informative. I mean, like, I first watched this film, I think, when I was about 15.
Right.
And I didn't sleep
Oh, God.
for 2 nights.
See, back in the day when I was 15, I'm 21 now.
How many
Probably
years
shouldn't have
ago
said
was
that.
Yeah.
Maths. Wait. 17, 18,
Oh my God, we're actually
6
okay.
numbers. Wait, 6 years, not 6 numbers, 6 years.
6 numbers ago, when I was 15.
6 whole numbers ago, when I was 15. Okay, I hated horror films.
I remember.
Yeah. And we've been friends for how long? Like a good 11?
Too long.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, bitch. We've been friends for at least a good 12 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about.
Feels longer, but you know.
It does feel longer. That's just, I'm just amazing like that. What can I say? Yeah. I'm just a breath of fresh air every time you see me.
Fresh air. If fresh air was poison.
Oh,
Okay.
bitch! Anyway, so I was 15 6 fingers ago. 6 numbers ago.
6 fingers.
For fuck's sake!
Get on with the story.
I'm trying. So. Stop laughing at me! I just
So, 6 fingers numbers years ago. Davina was 15.
I was 15 and I hated horror films. That's all I wanted to say. I hated horror films. I was terrified of them. I couldn't handle gore. Mm-hmm. Couldn't handle jump scares. Couldn't handle just anything. I mean, I'm worse now. I've got anxiety now. I have sleep paralysis. The dark frightens me. I can't fall asleep without listening to a podcast. Shout out to And That's Why We Drink. Yeah, cool, thanks, love you girls. Shameless plug.
So now is the time you choose to get into horror films.
You know what, my life is a horror film already.
Oh, what a mood.
So I might as well just embrace it completely.
Either that, or it's like, I mean, if a ghost comes and gets me now, then they're welcome to.
They're welcome to, honestly.
Take me.
They'll probably look at you and think, right, I don't want this one. She's a bit, I'm not a fan.
Do you know what? That would actually just be my luck.
It literally would. A ghost, oh no, the ghost.
Not the first person to not want me. So.
Oh, Rick! If you know, you know.
Anyway.
Anyway. So, The Orphanage is about a woman called Laura.
Laura! Sorry, it's because it's Spanish and that's how they say her name. It's like the kid, her son, Simon, they say Simon!
Simon!
And she's like, Simon! Sorry. It's about this woman called Laura.
Okay, it's about this woman called Laura who used to be an orphan, was adopted. But
I'm pretty sure she's still an orphan as an adult.
Yes, she is still an orphan. She is still an orphan.
Her parents are probably still dead.
No, but she got adopted and became the child of 2 adopted parents. Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, sorry. It took me a minute to figure out how you worded that. I'm a bit slow today.
Oh, God. Just today, she says.
Oh, God.
Okay, so, and she has a 7-year-old child called Simone.
Who she also adopted.
Yes, she adopted. He is adopted. He is also very ill, so he needs to take medicine every day. Mm-hmm. He isn't aware of it, which is the first thing I want to talk about. Okay. When are people going to start telling their kids that they're adopted?
Well, I don't know, because I remember do you remember in my old house, the one I literally grew up in, around the corner from you?
Yeah.
My next door neighbours, I don't know if you remember them, they're 2 little girls.
Yes.
They were both
I think I
adopted.
Do, yeah. Right.
And they basically raised them to know that they were adopted. And they had a little scrapbook for them. Well, actually, I don't know about the second one, but the eldest one, I assume that they did the same for the younger one. But for the eldest girl that they had a scrapbook that basically explained to them in a child-friendly way, you are adopted, this is who your real mother is, and I don't know if there was a father. Anyway, but they grew up knowing that they were adopted, but that their adopted mum and dad were still mum and dad to them, because they raised them.
Yeah.
But I know that some families just don't tell their kids until they're like 16, 18, or they just never do.
Or they just leave them to find out, which I just find so stupid, because first of all, that's a huge stigma against adoptive families, because why not? There is no shame in being adopted. There is no shame at all. There is no shame in adopting children. Do you know what I mean? People should do it more often. There are so many kids, older, younger, who don't get adopted, and the whole theme of, oh, I'm not going to tell this person that they're adopted, I'm not going to tell my child, it just needs to stop. It really does.
Well, like you said, there is no shame, and by not saying it and not talking about it,
it just brings so much shame to it. It just makes it seem so shameful.
Seem like a bad thing. It's like a lot of things that people don't talk about because they think it's shameful, but there is no shame in it.
There is no shame in it. So that was the first thing I wanted to tackle.
And you'd think as well, like, as a child, she grew up in an orphanage and she was adopted. She was obviously, like, old enough to recognise that she was adopted and she was an orphan.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't she do the same thing for her son? Unless,
exactly.
I don't know.
And why wouldn't she be proud of saying it? Yes, I was an orphan, but look how far I've come. I'm taking care of kids now. I've bought the orphanage I was raised in. I've revamped it. I want to adopt children. Do you know what I mean? You'd think it'd be something you'd be proud of.
It's something that never really gets explained in the film.
No.
Like, why Simon never gets told that he's adopted.
Yeah.
Especially when he is surrounded by adoption.
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
He literally is about to be raised in a home.
Yeah, that's going to have other kids in it.
If he made it that far.
Oh, bless him. Right, can we just talk about how cute the little kid was, though?
Which one?
Oh, God.
There were a few.
There were quite a few. Simone was adorable. He was like a little cherub.
Oh, my God. I wanted to squeeze his little cheeks.
Exactly. He did end up being a little dick at one point, though.
He was a little bit of a dick.
He was. I was just like, calm down, mate.
Like, all right, calm down.
Like, can you imagine if that was... See, this is the thing. When it comes to horror films, I always find that American families are so over-dramatic. And and their kids are over-dramatic as well.
Yeah.
But if it was a British family, we wouldn't take shit. The parents would just shut it down instantly. They wouldn't take shit. They wouldn't let the kids get away with it.
It's the countdown, isn't it?
It is.
I'm going to count to 10.
Literally.
And if you are not behaving by the time I get to 10...
Exactly.
You're going to be in a world of pain and you're
like...
oh shit, she's already on 4.
Yeah. See, for me, it's when... my parents say my full name.
Oh, yeah.
They say my full name, then I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm 21, and I'm still frightened of my parents saying my full name.
I see that.
Exactly. Rather than babe or darling, they're like, excuse me, and I'm like, oh, okay.
They just say my first name, and that's it.
Really?
It's just the tone.
Right, yeah.
You know, you just know.
You know
that
you're like, shit, stop
it.
Like,
oh my God. But this kid
he just kept going.
He kept going. I think he probably was like that because, you know, he's adopted and for whatever reasons that his parents have adopted him, he is their only child. It's an only child syndrome kind of thing.
It is an only child syndrome.
He knows he can get away with it because they love him so much, they just let him have whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
And for once, it's a situation where there are other people involved in the picture, there are other children coming in.
Yeah.
And he needs to do something for his parents just by being present at this event that they've got going on.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
He's like, nah, son.
He's like,
this
nah,
ain't
son.
it.
This ain't it.
This ain't it.
This ain't it. And he's just a little shit.
He is just a little shit, isn't he?
It's pretty tragic, really, though. That's like his last scene.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really upsetting because can you imagine going missing or dying and leaving it like that with your family? It's like, obviously you know that, oh yeah, they still love me, whatever, you do know that.
Yeah.
But then there's a bit of you that you think, oh shit, no, they don't love me anymore. I've really ruined our relationship and I'm never going to be able to make it right.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Simon died.
This is not a spoiler-free podcast.
In case you weren't aware about how we were
Simon,
talking.
He dies. Like, he really dies.
He really dies. It's so upsetting how he really dies. But we'll go into that.
this film, I find, like, going into it and watching it from an analytical point of view, because obviously before I just watched it because I wanted to scare myself because I'm an idiot. This time around I watched it and I kind of noticed how it opens on a really misleading and light kind of look.
It really does.
It literally, like, it's summer, it's this beautiful old building, it's kids playing in the garden, like the colours are just like, it looks like it's gonna be a little rom-com or something.
It does. It really does. And I feel like Del Toro's really, really good. I feel like that's where his influence was there, even though he just produced it. Because he has a way of making it seem like a big fantasy and a fairy tale. Don't know if you've ever seen Pan's Labyrinth.
I haven't, but it is on my list of things to watch.
Oh my god, it could be on this list.
Oh my, is it a horror?
I think it is. It's kind of like a fantasy. Pretty good. It pretty is. It's terrifying. Imagine watching it when you were 8.
Like Coraline.
Yeah, but
it's amazing, but it's
terrifying. It's
Yeah.
horrifying. Could Coraline be on the list too?
I would add Coraline to the list.
Oh, I'd add Coraline to the
Brilliant
list.
story. I could talk about that for ages, especially if we were going to talk about the book as well.
Oh, see, I've never read the book.
It's terrifying. It's even worse than the film.
Really?
Yeah, his descriptions. Why are we talking about Coraline now?
I know, let's stop. Stop. Pause.
We'll pause on that. That's for another episode.
Yeah, another episode. Yeah, so it was, even the opening credits, it seemed like something from a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
The wallpaper, peeling it and all that sort of stuff. And just like, you're right, the colours, the setting, it does seem very fantasy-like. It does seem like something magical is about to happen.
It basically takes innocence and childhood innocence and makes it sinister.
It really does.
Because the whole film, like when Simon goes missing and the kids are playing a game with Laura to try and help her find him, it's an innocent child's game, but it's got a sinister ending to it. It is,
yeah. It's
because a child is missing at the end of the day, but they're just kids, so they think, oh, it's a game, we'll help her.
Exactly.
Bants.
It is. Bants.
Lol, here's your son. By the way, he's dead.
Yeah, literally.
What a shame.
What a shame. What was I gonna say?
I don't know, Dee. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, yeah. Oh God.
Say yeah. Let's be alone together. Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought you were going into Usher's, yeah.
Oh no. Say yeah. Oh, okay, right. I see what I know. I went a bit Fall Out Boy. Sorry about that.
Anyway, right. So yeah, Pan's Labyrinth. That is a fantasy, but it is terrifying. But it kind of opens up with this sort of family kind of moving to a new place sort of thing. She gets lost in this sort of fantasy magical world, but then it all goes to shit. So
as it does.
Very realistic.
Brilliant.
Yeah, oh God.
Oh, I have to talk. There's, you know, the scene in this film where the medium lady Aurora.
Yes.
She's a medium psychic.
Yes. She's yeah.
Because I'm really bad, like, at all the terms of, like, what people do.
Is she a clairvoyant? Could we say she's a clairvoyant?
I honestly couldn't tell you. All I know is that she does something to do with spirits and contacting them and talking to them and being involved with them.
Yeah, she's quite sensitive. She can kind of sense spirits. She's a bit of a spiritualist. I feel like we'll call it that.
Okay, so
if we're wrong, call us out. Yeah, cool, thanks.
I love being called out. It's my
same
thing. Dee calls me out all the time.
Oh, Olivia calls me out all the time. Oh God.
Friendship.
But I'm not gonna lie, if you're not trying to call your friends out and make them better people, what are you trying to do? God, stop looking out the door!
I can't help it. Your kitchen is so nice.
Oh my God.
It's just, your kitchen just is so pretty. That's why I keep looking out the door.
She just keeps looking and I'm like, shit, who's there?
It's Simone.
Simone.
But when Aurora comes in and she's walking around the house and obviously all the lights are off and this guy is like counting down from 10.
Yes.
You know, he's like, 7,
yes.
6, 5, 4. And you can feel like the tension building and you're like,
really can, yeah.
oh my god. And then she's walking around this house and it's dead quiet. And when
Yeah.
she comes to the children's room,
Oh, that part's terrifying.
the thing that I think is what is so horrifying about it is because you can hear their screams of pain, like they're dying. These kids have been poisoned. Like, that's obviously what happened to them. They were poisoned, and that's how they died.
Yeah.
I think what makes this story so terrifying is, even though it's so simple, such an awful thing happened. Like, these kids were murdered, and because you don't see them, like, literally get poisoned, or you don't see them dying, you can only hear it.
Yeah.
You put your own images to the film.
Yeah.
And it's worse when you make it up in your head.
It is so much worse.
Because if it's in your head, no one else can see it, you're stuck with it, just you.
You're stuck with that image, and it kind of stays with you, no matter what you kind of do to kind of get rid of it.
I think that scene really was kind of like...
Was that your scariest bit?
It's definitely the bit that I can't really watch with the lights off.
Right, got ya.
Because you just hear it. The screams of pain. As you know, I am not a fan of screams of pain.
No,
and
you're not.
Torture.
Yeah.
And these kids are, they're kids.
Yeah.
That's what makes it worse. When it's children, it's 10 times worse.
It
than
is.
An adult is screaming in pain.
Yeah.
So these kids are dying, they're screaming in pain, but you can't see them, you can only hear it. So you're putting your own images to it.
Exactly.
It messes with me big time.
Yeah.
I think that's the scene that really, like...
hits home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't know why I watched this film.
I mean, yeah, that was definitely one of the most terrifying scenes, I think, of the film because of those reasons. And there's something about kids in horror films.
There is, isn't there?
There is. It's like bringing in my English degree. It's like the Freud's uncanny. They're making children it's meant to be such a beautiful thing, bringing a child into the world and all that sort of stuff. It's meant to be beautiful. You're meant to cherish them. You're meant to take care of them. Then all of a sudden trying to cause them pain. It's just defamiliarizing family and children and kids and joy, and it's just making it, as you said, something sinister, something horrifying.
Exactly.
It just turns your stomach. Stop doing that!
I can't.
Oh my God!
It's just my eyes. I have no control over them. Do you want me to sit this way so that
Wait, no, you can't because what other mic doesn't hear you?
I don't care.
Oh my God's sake!
Sorry, I will try and stop looking out the window right now. I can see
it's
kind of
gone quiet. There you go.
I will just try and stop.
Yeah.
Creeping you out.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Rewinding back to the beginning, where the first sort of haunted occurrence. Oh, it's not really a haunting occurrence, but it's kind of the first scary element of the film, where you see what's her name, Beignet? No, that's a
Benigna.
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 Beignet.
Benigna.
Benigna.
That bitch.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Honestly, you lock up your child because he's disformed. Way to make him feel like shit.
Not only that, she puts a sack over his head.
Literally.
A sack.
A sack.
Not even like a brown paper bag. A
No,
sack.
not even a
full-on
mask.
sack. That shit's got an itch.
It has got an itch. The poor thing. You just can't help but feel so bad for that child because it's been brought into this world and its mother won't even look at them properly.
No.
And when you open your eyes and you see your mother, that's who you're supposed to fall in love with the first time. Do you know what I mean? You're meant to fall in love with your mother. That's the first person you see. Do you know what I mean? And your own mother won't even look at you. It's just devastating. Like, can you imagine that? Someone who's biologically supposed to love you can't even look at you.
That does tie in with the whole tragedy of this story, because this story is just tragic.
It is so tragic.
It is just one big tragedy.
Oh, wow! Tragedy!
No, but it is, like, literally,
it is.
You know, these kids are murdered by Benigna because she thinks that they murdered her son, which they didn't. It was an accident.
It was
an accident. They were just trying to play with him. They led him into the caves where that's when the tide comes in and he drowns. So that's the first tragic accident.
Exactly.
The second thing is not an accident.
No.
She poisons those kids.
She poisons those kids.
unnecessary revenge.
Yeah.
Because they're kids.
And the thing is, the poisoning those kids. First off, she's kind of the cause of Tomas's death anyway by making him such a spectacle.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, she's made him such a spectacle. She's locked him away. She hasn't let him integrate with the other kids. She hasn't let them get used to it. She hasn't let him get used to them. She's basically a cause of his death by just kind of making him so ashamed of what he looks like, becoming such a spectacle, a laughing stock, that the kids are like, well, how else are we supposed to handle it other than making fun of him?
Exactly. Because generally, kids don't care about things like that.
No,
they
they
don't
don't.
pick them out because they look to adults for how they're supposed to act around things. So when they see adults acting in that way around this deformed kid, they're going to do the same thing.
Exactly.
So the fact that even his mother is literally like, put a sack over his head, that
can't lock him away in the basement.
ugly piece of shit.
Literally.
Was that fast?
Just...
I'm sorry, Thomas. Please don't come after me. Like, this poor kid has been treated like that by his own mother. So obviously these other kids are like, oh, well, they're like, we can't just be normal around him. Like, you learn from adults. Yeah. And that's what they've learned.
Yeah, they're conditioned to think that way. And they're kids. They're going to be conditioned. They're going to learn, as you said, from the adults. So yeah, she's a bitch.
She's a bitch.
Like,
so basically, it's all her fault.
Everything is her fault.
It is her fault.
It is her fault.
She kills the kids, and then
she makes her son feel like shit.
I don't know so much about. Actually, no. Maybe Simon's death could have been prevented.
Oh, it could have been
if that room, like the basement, wasn't hidden like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that the way he died would have happened.
Yeah.
Because, long story short, he's right behind the door. There's scaffolding pipes.
Yeah.
Laura slams these scaffolding pipes against the door.
Yeah.
That hits him through the door. He falls down the stairs, crashes through the banisters. I'm assuming he breaks his neck.
He does break his neck.
And that's how he dies.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Yeah. But we'll go more into that in a minute. Is that alright?
Thought I should, put that down.
No, I know what you mean.
Like, how he dies. Like, but how does he die?
No, it's alright. We'll go more into that.
But I think that if, that room hadn't been so secret because Thomas had been locked down there, then...
Can you imagine being locked down there?
So it is all Benignia's fault.
It is all Benignia's fault.
Maybe she did deserve to die the way that she did.
Honestly, that shocked me.
I still can't look at that bit.
Oh, I looked at it and I regretted it.
Off.
I know. And when she
that is ugly.
It is so ugly. Oh, symbolism. She became deformed like her child.
Oh, that's deep.
That is really deep. She became deformed like her child. Her child didn't last. So she became the thing she was scared of.
I wouldn't use deformed. I would just use mutilated.
Mutilated.
We'll
cut that out. She was mutilated by a truck or a bus. She became the one thing she was scared of.
That is true.
Yeah.
Damn, Del Toro is good.
He is really good. He's really good. He's really good. But anyway... at the first bit, Benignia, when she's hiding in the shed, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh my Christ.
Right, first off, see, this is what really annoys me about families in horror films, where they don't believe the person that is experienced everything. They're like, no, it's fine. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't just go back to sleep if I thought there was an old woman in my house with a shovel. No, you wouldn't. If I saw an old woman in my house with a shovel, I'd be like, oh, Mum's finally done it. She's killed Dad. Or I'd be like, what the fuck, I'm gonna die. Do you know what I mean?
It's either one of those two things is not good.
No.
You don't just go back to bed.
You don't just go back to bed. You call the police ASAP and then you get that shit sorted.
It's just Carlos, isn't it?
Yeah. Carlos was,
Laura's husband was a bit of an idiot for the first half of the film.
Yeah, he was.
Just because he didn't seem to really believe Laura.
No.
Or Simon about anything. I mean, I know that Laura didn't believe Simon about his imaginary friends and all of that to begin with, but that's because it's a common thing. Yeah. Kids have imaginary friends, and they don't all turn out to be ghosts.
No, not all of them.
So, naturally, she was like, well, clearly this is just a childish thing.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about. But Carlos literally, he was a bit of an idiot.
He was.
There was an old woman in his shed. Yeah. She told him that, and he still was just like,
that's fine.
Oh, I'm sure that there's no one really there. You were probably dreaming.
Exactly. And I'm like, what?
Get it together, Carlos.
Get it together. Swear to God, like, the amount of people who just don't believe people in horror films. And they're like, they're like one of the reasons everything happens. If you don't believe that, you don't hightail it out of there ASAP. We don't have a plot. The film finishes, but still.
It's like after Simon goes missing, and Laura comes home from the hospital.
Yeah.
She's broken her leg.
Yeah.
Or whatever she did to her leg in the sea.
It was weird. That scene was really weird because I couldn't tell.
I was just like, she only fell over.
Yeah, I was
in
like,
the
Jesus,
sea.
what happened?
Like, what did she fall? I don't know. But anyway, when they're at home and she first starts hearing noises, and it obviously becomes clear in the end what those noises are. But she's like, I've heard something. There's someone here, and he's just like, there's nothing.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
Yeah, and I'm like, seriously, get your hearing check.
Legit.
Legit. I mean, that bit at the end. Oh, well, hold on. Before we get started, we'll go into the ending.
We'll get there.
We will get there. What else do you want to talk about?
You might want to edit this bit into the other bit that we were talking about earlier, just because
That's
it plays
fine.
in better with that. But I thought a good point was just people feel what they can't see.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that makes this such a good horror film. It's simple because it's a simple story, but it's terrifying because, like we said, it's made innocent things sinister, but also because you can't see ghosts generally. No. I know that eventually you do come to see them in this film, but in the beginning, because you can't see it, that's what's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because, to wrap that up, people fear what they can't see. Oh, thank you so much. I'd like to thank my mum, maybe Dee,
bitch,
and myself for getting through this difficult time.
Literally.
Take it away.
Thank you. No, that is really, really true. People do fear what they can't see. We couldn't see those kids. Laura couldn't see what the ghosts were doing to our house. The only one who could see them was Simone. He could see them. Which it makes you wonder why he could see them. Because obviously they play into that theory that you have to be in your subconscious or kind of half dead.
Well,
in order to see them.
There is a whole theory. Someone might have to check me up on this because this is just from watching so many like paranormal programs. I don't know what is necessarily true and what is made up for like entertainment. But I swear that there is something about like babies and children can see the dead. Like dogs and cats can see like spirits and stuff. So it might be something to do with that because they're more like open-minded because obviously they're so young, they're naive and they don't they don't know anything.
No, exactly.
God, I wish I was that young.
It's like, you know how our brains kind of correct us so we can't actually see our nose. No, it sounds stupid.
Sorry,
But our brain corrects us and makes sure that we can't see our nose.
Well, now I'm conscious of my nose. So.
No. Don't be conscious of your nose. But it's like our brain... Shut up. It's like as if when we get older, our brain corrects us. So we could have seen a ghost, but our brain's like, nah, you didn't. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God, I'm questioning my whole life.
I mean, that's probably absolute
thing
bullshit. But
right, the hotel that I work at is haunted.
Right.
I've not told you this yet.
No, you haven't.
I had an experience. I'm not even joking.
Every day.
Right, and we both know that I'm either like I either believe in it or I either don't. Because some people like you hear them talk about it and it's like they're literally like so over the top about this. Did this actually happen?
Yeah.
And then other people, it's like, wow, they had like a genuine, I don't know. But basically, I'm very in the middle with it. Like, I don't not believe in these things, but I don't fully like, I believe in everything that's spiritual and all of that. But basically, we have to take all of the dirty plates over the road, like the building across the road. It's part of the hotel, but like that's where the dishwasher for our stuff is. So I went into this kitchen. There's no one else in there because it's a Sunday afternoon, so it's basically like closed. All the lights are off apart from the little area that I was in. and there was no one there. It's like dead quiet. The only thing that you can really hear is just like settling noises, I guess. You know, it's a whole kitchen. You can't hear anything other than that. But I was just, you know, doing my thing, loading the dishwasher, all of that, and I could hear footsteps.
No.
I heard footsteps, and I stopped walking because I thought, oh, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm hearing my own footsteps and freaking myself out. And I thought, maybe it's my footsteps echoing. So I completely stopped walking. These footsteps carried on.
Shut up.
And I stood there and I analysed it, like, on the spot. I was like, it's definitely not in the room above because, you know, you can just tell when it's above you.
Yeah.
It's definitely not in another room.
Right.
Because this kitchen, I don't know how to explain it, but it's very separate, like, and it's old and it's tiled in there, and footsteps sound a certain way on tiles compared to on like wooden flooring.
Right.
It was in the room with me.
Shut up.
And I kind of just stood there with this pile of plates and just went, okay. And just carried on.
Fucking hell. No. I can't believe you had your first paranormal experience.
That wasn't my first paranormal experience.
Your first one in the hotel.
Yeah, the first one in the hotel, but yeah, I was just kind of like, okay, all right, carry on. It's fine.
You just let them alone.
Yeah.
Just let them alone.
They're just, you know, they're not there to hurt you or anything. I think that, everyone just says they're just letting you know that they're there sort of thing, so...
Really?
That's what I'm getting from it.
Right.
I think someone was just kind of like, hello, you're right, and I was just like, hello.
That's actually terrifying. I think I'd quit.
No, I can't afford to quit.
You're fair.
I am poor.
Fair. Oh God. To be completely honest, right? I just think that do houses get PTSD?
Holy shit, that's such a good point.
Like, because you always have that thing where, I mean, probably not PTSD, probably not post-traumatic stress disorder. That's probably the wrong way to put it.
Not the literal, like, bricks and stuff, but...
Do bad things and bad experiences get imprinted into houses? Do you think the ghosts even existed?
Oh, wow. This was a point I was not expecting.
Because when you think about it, you have your first experiences with the ghosts, right?
Right.
And it's Simone, and he's left the ghosts have left the clues and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
For them to have a little treasure hunt. But what if he just did it? What if he just did it to get his mother's attention because he thought, wow, she lied to me about me being adopted. I'm going to really fuck her up.
That one would make sense.
Yeah.
But when he goes missing and the clues are left for Laura to find her son, including the doorknob to this place.
What if he left them before he died to hope that she will find Tomas's little house like he wanted her to?
Oh, that's actually a really good point. That could be entirely possible because obviously he can't like foresee that he's going to die.
No, he can't.
He wouldn't be like, my mum's going to accidentally kill me.
No, he probably thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to get my mum's attention. I'm going to stay in Tomas's little house, leave these clues for her. She's going to have to come and find me.
Because why else would he be there?
Yeah, why else would he be there?
Oh, that little shit.
Yeah, what if there were no ghosts? What if she was genuinely just going mad out of grief? Do you know what I mean?
That's entirely possible because grief does do crazy things to people, and people do
know.
crazy things.
Literally, you would know.
All my friends are dead. You know, like I think that's actually a pretty good point, and maybe that because it's Del Toro as well.
Yeah.
Like from what I hear of his other amazing films, you know, he plays on a lot of things, and he manages to put a lot of different aspects into this film in particular, which like is why I love this film because it's so cleverly made and it's so creepy despite it being so simple, and that is another interesting aspect to it because she is like hysterical because she can't find her son. She doesn't know that he's dead.
No, she doesn't know. She doesn't know that he's dead, but the thing is he was literally under her this whole time.
That is the tragic thing.
That is
the fact that he was in the basement the whole time. But that's another question I have, actually.
What's your question?
Like, when obviously they reported their son missing because there's a whole police investigation,
Yeah.
do they not search the house
That's the
in
thing.
depth? Because they would have found that.
Fingerprints.
Yeah, fingerprints.
Fingerprints going towards the actual door, moving stuff about. And the thing is, you'd think they'd find house plans.
Yeah, that too. Because, a big house like that,
and how old it is as well.
Yeah, and how old it is. There would be secret little cupboards and stuff.
Yeah.
There's I don't know what Spanish architecture is like.
No.
And stuff, but, I know that in a lot of old houses, especially in America and stuff, they'd have dumbwaiters and stuff.
Yeah.
That would go down as far as a basement.
Yeah.
So if there was one in that house, it would have gone down to the basement, and they would have found that out.
Yep.
I don't know. It gets me. It's are the Spanish police that bad?
Well, do you remember one time we were in Spain, right?
Oh my god!
Do you remember this? And we were partying on our balcony, and it was in a family estate sort of thing. And we were partying. Our music may have been a bit loud, and then all of a sudden. Okay, very loud. So the police came, and we were on a few floors up, but they just stayed in their car.
We literally just turned the music and the lights off and went and hid in the apartment, and then they didn't even come up because we thought they were going to come up and knock ring the bell and be we've had complaints, you need to shut up.
Yeah.
They didn't leave their car.
They didn't. They just were okay. Bye.
And they just left, and we carried on.
Left.
That was
we just kept going.
That was brilliant.
It was.
The neighbours were so angry. The neighbours that ran
They
were just looking up at us we were just woo, have a drink for us.
Literally.
Yeah.
Anyway,
miserable.
The Spanish police force that bad?
It's
weird.
I don't know. It did just confuse me. Also, I know this is probably a really quite bad assumption to make, but because Laura herself came out of care, it's just a known fact that a lot of care kids have issues, whether it's mental issues or attachment issues.
Right, yeah.
That's just a thing.
It's not a stereotype.
It's not the case. It's not the case with all
No, it's not the case with all
kids, especially if they're they're adopted young and they're raised in a nice family and stuff. But because it's a stereotype, I'd have thought the police would have been you murdered your son.
Yeah.
Because
you have
of your background.
Exactly. And exactly. No,
there's not even a hint of that.
No,
and
there isn't.
That's swept under the carpet or anything. It's just straight up their son's missing, don't know what happened.
Yeah, there is no hint of it. There is no hint of thinking, he could have been murdered. There is no, it was always, he's missing.
Or that a blood family member kidnapped him because he's adopted.
Exactly.
But
you don't really get those hints.
No.
Nothing. Yeah, you don't really get that at all. So yeah, do the ghosts really exist? Does the house have an imprint of all the bad stuff that happened to the kids and all that stuff, and Benigna and Tomas?
I think it's possible because that's a thing, isn't it? That's a thing. It's a common thing.
It is a common thing.
Loads of houses across that we know of anyway, across England and the UK and America, they just can't be lived in because every time someone moves into them, the repeat that the events of the past
echo. Toxic cycle.
Yeah, and they keep happening to these people, so the houses are just deemed you can't live in there because the things that have happened in there are so bad that it's literally imprinted into the walls, like you said with this house. So I think that is a possibility, that because it's an awful thing.
It is.
Children being murdered, and their bodies never leave the grounds either.
No, because they're ashes. And when she pulled out the sacks,
that jawbone.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, at first I was like, what is that?
Yeah, no, see, I saw it. I saw how grey it was and I was like, shit, that's ashes. That's ash. Those are someone's ashes that she's just fondling with.
It's very... Because at first I was like, well, that's a bit stupid to bury them on site.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're hidden amongst flour sacks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of clever. But then I don't understand why Benigna went back to try and find the bodies again, to get rid of them again.
Yeah.
It's like they probably would never have been found.
No, they probably wouldn't have been. That's why I don't understand why she was there in the first place. That's why I kind of thought, what is she? Has she come to? My first thought was, has she come to take Simone?
To be honest, when I first saw her in that shed, she was holding a spade. I thought she was going to whack Law around the head with it.
Right, yeah.
But
Okay,
I
fair.
see where you're coming from. Like, I guess, yeah. She probably, yeah, I thought, she's going to take Simone. He's a goner.
He's a goner, yeah, but obviously he wasn't.
Oh, no, wait, wasn't he already? Oh, no, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't at that point.
I'm
No, he
getting
wasn't
my
yet.
events mixed up.
Yeah.
Timeline is fucked.
But,
that's a really nice canvas. Does
it
that
is,
light
isn't
up?
It does.
I knew it.
It's cute.
Sorry. I love it.
That's alright. But yeah, we can talk about... Wait, before we talk about the ending, can we talk about what gets to the ending?
Yes.
So, you know the bit where she's knocking on the wall, she's taking her drugs, and she's knocking on the wall, un, dos, tres, what else she said? Parapare?
I don't want to say it in case we have Spanish listeners and they take the piss out of us trying to speak
Okay.
their language.
Wait, hold on, let me try and say
Un,
it.
dos, tres, something, something, something.
It's like, un, dos, tres. I got a D in my Spanish exam, so
I didn't
I'm not
take
even
Spanish.
the D I wanted. My family knows that I'm going to have to cut that out. Okay, hold on.
Only
She
if
says,
they know.
only if they know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Right, hold on. So she says, un,
dos, tres.
Laura. Yeah, it's something.
So it's along those lines, but that is
Laura
not it.
the Orphanage.
I didn't even do Spanish, so.
Yeah, that's literally the voice.
Like
she does this.
Toca la
She does-
pared.
Un, dos, tres, toca la pared. Yeah.
Oh, that's freaky. Stop.
Stop.
I don't like it. Oh, God.
But yeah, when
Oh,
she
it takes
does
me back.
that, and she does it repeatedly in order to kind of get the kids to come out from hiding, that part shook me.
Yeah,
up.
especially because for the first few times, there's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
And you're waiting for it to
Yeah.
happen.
you are.
And
yeah.
you're just sat there, and then
Yeah.
I think it's the third or fourth time it turns around, and there are kids there, and you're
Yeah,
like, oh,
oh,
shit. And then you shit yourself.
Yeah, you do, and the shitting yourself doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop
Till
at
the
point.
credits.
It literally carries on
It
until.
It does.
Fuck me, mate. Like that just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you. That scene just does get me as well.
Yeah.
Along with the whole rest of the film.
Right.
Oh, can we talk about Benigna's death real quickly?
Yes.
Because obviously that actually is another thing that's going to tie into our earlier point with how she hated her son basically because he was deformed. So
Yeah.
stick a sack on it doesn't exist. Why did that sound wrong? I hate myself.
I mean, in a way, it's kind of true. It's kind of true.
Use protection, kids.
Use protection. No kids. Stick a sack on it.
I now have Durex's new advert slogan.
You really do. You're their new
sell them
copywriter.
Love it. But
Or give me a Hallmarks card for Happy Valentine's Day. Clinton's, where you at?
oh my Christ. Love it.
Oh,
So-
jeez, yeah.
But when they're in whatever city that they're in, and they see her, and she's
Yeah.
got a pram.
Yeah, she has a doll in the
Yeah,
pram.
and they think it's Simon. Obviously, it's not. But
Yeah.
there's a doll in this pram.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder: does she feel that like the guilt of treating her own son like that? That she doesn't have another child, so
Yeah.
she's got this creepy ass doll.
Yeah. That happens.
To like represent him.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot. When you lose a child, like do you remember in The Woman in Black, the woman who lost her child, she has 2 dogs. She puts the dogs in high chairs, treats them like babies.
Yeah. Oh, that's really sad.
It is really sad. And I remember in Desperate Housewives, there's right.
Okay.
Segue.
A true horror.
True horror. One of the main characters, she realizes that her child and another child, they both got swapped in the hospital by accident.
Oh my Christ.
So she ended up taking the wrong one home. But she raised her, and it's like years ahead. And so she has a doll. She gets a doll made that looks like the other child she was supposed to have.
Right.
And she puts it in a car seat and everything. She doesn't want to leave it behind, all that sort of stuff. She feeds it and that sort of stuff. There is sort of that phantom sort of pain where you have this you reach out to something and you mimic acting like
It's
a mother
kind of-
figure.
Yeah, like when this is probably like a really bad time to use this.
Oh,
but
God.
you know when dogs have a phantom pregnancy?
Right.
It's really sad, and like
Mhm.
they get teddies and stuff, and they put them by like their teats as if they're like suckling
Really?
milk. Yeah,
That is really sad.
because they want puppies, they want babies, but
Right.
they can't have them because they've either been spayed or obviously they've just,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not happened for them.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of.
That's really sad.
It is really sad.
It is really sad. It's like a really sad
I need a minute.
turn.
I'm
Oh
just-
God, same.
I love
It's a good-
dogs.
Oh, dogs are great.
They are great. But her death, the way she literally just gets ploughed down by that,
Yeah.
oh my Christ.
It's yeah.
One,
You just
that
don't expect
was
it.
unexpected, yeah.
Yeah.
Two, obviously, like, in a split second, I don't know why Laura thinks that her son is in that pram. Her son was
Yeah.
7 years old.
Her
Would
son
he
would
really
not fit. Literally.
Like,
Would not have fit.
come on, Laura, it's only been 6 months. Have you already
Honestly.
forgotten how big your son is?
Literally. Have you forgotten?
Christ.
Crazy.
But when they turned her over, well, not even that. Like, obviously, she's
Flat on her back, isn't she?
flat on her back. You can't see anything, and
No.
then they put a cover over her face because they're like, she is dead.
Yeah.
And then she jumps up, and you
Yeah.
have a split second of seeing her face. Her jaw is
Yeah.
hanging off. There's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
You can see like right down the throat.
Yeah, you
Because,
really can.
You know, it's
You
ripped
really-
open.
You really can.
It's all there.
Yeah.
It's on display.
It's on display.
The
Exhibit
fact
A.
the fact that there's a crowd of people as well really got me, because it's like they all seem to be completely unfazed and they're all stood watching this. If I was there
Yeah.
in this crowd and I saw that, I'd be like, oh, fuck this, I'm going
I'd
home.
be-
I've had enough for today.
Fuck this shit,
I'm
I'm out.
Come on now, fuck this shit, I'm out. I don't know what the fuck just happened. I don't really care. Sorry, you got me going on that one. But that's when it seems like all hope is lost, because they finally found this woman that they think has stolen their son, and she's just been yeeted out by a truck. She's dead.
Yeah, she is. She is dead. She is.
And she clearly doesn't have Simon.
Yeah, clearly.
They're back to square one.
Yeah.
And I think this is when it gets quite sad, because Carlos gives up.
Yeah, you can tell when he gives up, and he just kind of starts saying stuff like, couples get through this.
Yeah. I think that, to be honest, like, I mean, I've never lost a child.
No.
I've lost people that...
Yeah.
I've lost people.
Rip.
Aliens, too. You know, I have a lot of friends.
Anyway.
You know, like, I can understand where it would get to a point when you're so, you know, grief-stricken. You don't know where your son is.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm saying this from, like, as if it's you. You haven't lost your son. He doesn't know where his son is.
Yeah.
He's probably dead because he's gone 6 months without his medication.
Yeah.
There's no sign of him. There's no clues. There's no trace.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to live like this forever, just
No.
wondering. You just want to move on.
Yeah.
And I think it's really sad, because obviously he's just like, can we please just move on? I know that he's our son, but I just want to forget now, and I want to move on.
And you can't help but feel bad for him at that point.
I feel awful.
You kind
for
of
him.
think he's just... I feel like there's a huge thing about how hatred at parents who do want to move on, and there's no consideration for them. But you kind of think they've been in so much pain, and the way Laura ended up being, he probably had to hold her up quite a lot of the time.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it does take a lot of strength, a lot of mental and physical strength to do that.
He was probably like, I say probably, he was like the backbone for the both of them.
Exactly.
So when he gets to that point,
it
is really sad.
It is.
That's another thing that is a very real thing that does reflect on a lot of parents, because that happens to a lot of parents. They lose a child for whatever reason, and they get to a point where they probably just want to forget about it and move on, because there's no point you know,
There's
you
just
either
no
kill
point.
yourself or get killed.
Yeah, literally. There's just no point in staying in that place. They probably want to get away from that place because they just can't. They need to get away from that feeling of despair. They just need to get away from it. Whereas some parents can't get away from it, and like Laura does whatever she can to try and find her child.
So that's what makes it even worse. Because obviously he's like, I've had enough. Can we please just move on? And she's like, never.
Never. It's interesting seeing the two different sides of that spectrum.
It is.
Really.
It is, especially when it's in the same couple.
Yeah.
Because that must be really, really hard to try and meet in the middle.
Exactly.
So obviously their way of meeting in the middle is, fine, you can stay here and try and find our son for a few days.
Yeah.
But once these few days are up, you come with me and we move on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she never even gets a chance to move on.
No.
But in a way,
but
she does in her own way.
Yeah.
But you feel bad for Carlos because now he's just got no one.
Maybe, but we'll get there. But like, I think, you know, he has already found peace with it. Yeah,
I think he did find peace with it at the end. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now our favourite bit, the ending. Right, the ending.
So, she finds the basement. Is this the bit that we're starting from? Okay.
Yeah.
She finds the basement. This is where it's all led to. She figures out this is Thomas's house.
Yeah.
This is like what Simon was talking about. This is his little den, blah, blah, blah. She figures out, puts all the pieces together that this is where this little boy was kept. And then she sees this little bundle in the corner and she's like, is him on?
Yeah.
And she finds her son. And he is alive. He's talking to her.
Yeah. You just hope, as the viewer, as the watcher, that he is alive. You just kind of think, oh my god, maybe.
Raised a lot of questions though, because it's like, where the fuck have you been?
Yeah, how have you
6
eaten?
months? How have you survived, you shit?
Literally, you just kind of can't help but hope. Oh my god, he is alive. He is.
Yeah,
she was right this whole time that he was still okay.
I just remember like watching this for the first time, and when, you know, after she's like, just pretend with me that this is all.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you and me, and it's so sad because it does all go away. Like,
it does.
The ghosts go away, but then so does her son because he is part of that.
Yeah.
He was one of the ghosts in the end. Mm-hmm. So she was playing the game, and she was still playing the game when she finds her son.
Yeah.
And he's a ghost.
Yeah, she fucking lost that game.
And I just remember that moment where she drops all the blankets because he's not actually in there, and you see that little slump on the floor.
Yeah.
And you figure out that's a body.
Yeah.
And then
you
get
see
closer,
the stairs. Yeah.
And it's his body.
Yeah.
And you see the stairs, and they play it back, like the sounds and like how clearly what happened.
Yeah.
And
the fact that it was accidentally her fault
as well.
The
fact that
accidentally
killed her own son.
Yeah.
And
without knowing
like,
it.
The first time I watched that, I remember being like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, he was underneath, like you said, he was underneath them the whole time. He was in the basement the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's so sad.
It is just so devastating because you imagine if he hadn't broken his neck, if he was just calling for them and calling for them and just trying to, because I don't think he broke his neck straight away. I think, because remember when she shuts the door, so he was probably just banging on that door, trying to call for his parents to come get him out, the ones who were supposed to look after him and have locked him in. Now he just kind of realizes, oh shit, I'm really in over my head, my parents aren't coming for me, and then he falls.
Oh, I thought that it was because he was behind the door.
Oh, he was behind the door, but she basically closes the door by accident, pushes it so there's loads of weight against it so he can't open it.
Oh no, I thought it was because, you know the scaffolding pipes thing?
Yes.
They bang against the door, and because he's behind the door, it pushes him, and that's how he falls and dies.
I didn't think it was that, because you don't hear the crash of him falling until the evening when she tries to sleep.
That's true. Unless she just, I don't know.
I think she just accidentally locked him in, and him trying to get out, he trips and falls down the stairs. Yeah,
it's just so sad though.
It is so sad.
Obviously, like, because he's got Thomas's sack over his head. What is the meaning of that? Because he had, you know, the sack that Thomas wears on his head.
Yes.
Simon has that on, and then she pulls it off.
Yeah, he does have
like,
it on.
How? Oh, I just kind of like
figured it out.
Yeah.
What?
He knows about Thomas's house.
Yeah.
And he's playing with Thomas, so I think that Simon was raised to not treat these kids differently because they're about to open this home for disabled kids, and they all look different to him.
Yeah.
But he's learned to treat them the same because his parents have taught him that, unlike the other kids from the previous age.
Yeah.
So he looks at Thomas and he thinks it's completely normal. So the sack is off his head, and he's playing with the sack, and that's why it's on his head. Yeah. Oh, Davina, I've just put it all together. I've watched this film so many times.
And she's just put it together now.
No, but that's how he fell down the stairs, isn't it? Because obviously, like you said, he was playing and he's got a sack over his head. He can't see.
Oh.
Well, this is a bit sad, isn't it?
It's so sad.
This is another thing though, because it's literally like it's a simple story, it's an accident, but it's so sad that even though it's fiction, I'm like, oh my god, that's so tragic.
It's so tragic. It's so tragic because if you just put yourself in their shoes and imagine what they were going through,
that's awful.
It's horrible. It's horrible, and you kind of are thankful that at the end they do kind of get their happy ending where she does trigger warning, she does overdose. But she is reunited with her children.
I'm not sure about like body decomposure.
Right.
But 6 months his body was down there.
Yeah. Did you think it was going to be worse?
I thought it would be in a worse state than that, and it all stayed together.
Yeah.
Like she picks him up and she takes him upstairs.
Yeah.
And nothing falls off basically.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know much about body decomposure apart from what I Googled for writing reasons. But I thought that like there was a lot still there. Like his skin was still.
Yeah, it was just really dried up.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
He looked wooden.
He did look wooden.
I thought that. Yeah.
He probably was wooden when they filmed it. But oh, Pinocchio. Yeah. I got no strings to hold me down. I fell through the stairs and then I died. That's it. It's Pinocchio gone wrong. Instead of Italy, it's Spain.
Oh my god, literally.
So I don't know like how like body decomposition works, but I was a bit surprised that he was that together.
Yeah, no, same.
He'd been down there for 6 months.
How heartbreaking would it have been if he wasn't all together?
I mean, it was already bad enough she found his dead body, but like...
Yeah.
Christ. But yeah, she takes him upstairs. Yeah. She's obviously like devastated. Yeah. Her son is dead. She's figured out that she's accidentally killed him.
Yeah.
So she's just popping pill after pill.
Pill after pill.
And obviously she falls asleep.
Yeah.
And when she wakes up, she's not actually woken up in her time anymore. She's woken up in
her sort of heaven, really. We'll say it. We're not very religious, but we'll say it is her sort of...
I think it is her idea of heaven.
It is.
She wanted to open that home for the kids. And she never knew that her friends died until she got there.
Yeah.
And she gets to do what she wanted to do, which was look after all the kids and...
Be with her son. Yeah.
So she does die, but that's the bittersweet ending about it because, all these kids are reunited with her. She's reunited with her son. They're all going to stay together. Mm-hmm. And that's, like, one of the things that I noticed was all the Peter Pan references.
Yeah.
Obviously,
obviously you noticed it. You geek. Oh, you did notice it.
Well, I love Peter Pan. It's my favourite thing.
Has been obsessed with Peter Pan for years. Since you were a kid, I
Literally,
swear.
since I can remember.
Yeah.
My whole life I've been obsessed with the story. I just love it.
Yeah.
And with this, because it's very clear that her friend Victor, I don't know if you noticed Victor.
Yes.
But he clearly had a thing for Laura when they were in the orphanage.
Clearly.
And it's like when Peter stays in Neverland and Wendy goes home. He stays at the
orphanage. I never noticed that till you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm. He stays at the orphanage and she goes and gets adopted. I think your dad's in the kitchen, so...
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. I just thought I would let you know in case you see me glance and you're like, what are you looking at? I'm sorry.
You just kept that out on me.
I should have just not said anything.
I don't know what would have been what.
I tried to warn you and it didn't work.
Right, so Oh god.
You know, the idea is that like
Mm.
Peter stays in Neverland, Wendy goes back
Yeah.
home,
Yeah.
Victor stays at the orphanage, Laura
Yeah.
gets adopted.
Yeah.
And when she comes back, she's all grown up. Kind
Yeah.
of like how when Peter comes to visit Wendy again to take her away to Neverland, but she's all grown up.
Yeah.
So he kidnaps Jane instead. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
a whole different story. But
the way they took Simone.
Oh yeah.
If they even existed. Right, there's so many theories.
So many theories.
Yeah.
But because they even say like, oh, she's grown up like Wendy in the story, and then
Yeah.
she sits down and she's reading them all a story
Yeah.
like Wendy does, like this motherly figure. So
Yeah.
I had to put those references in there because it's my favourite.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question.
What's your question?
Do you remember when Carlos gives Laura the necklace when they're looking for Simon?
Yeah.
Can't remember what he said. I think
St. Anthony, I think it was.
Was it?
I think it was St. Anthony.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when she's dying, because
Yeah.
she's clearly overdosed, she pulls this necklace off.
Yeah.
Like, it rips off.
Yeah.
I don't know whether, like, that was literally done just so Carlos could find it at the end. But
yeah.
I wondered if there was a meaning to that.
I think there was.
Because it breaks.
It breaks. Obviously, he said, give the necklace back to you when we find Simon.
Mm.
She found Simon. So she is, in a way, giving the necklace back to him.
Ah, yes. It's very sad.
It is really sad. She's taken off the necklace, has given it back to him. It's snapped. She may have lost all of her faith.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it could mean. She's lost all of her faith and all that sort of stuff. Or she's giving that faith back to Carlos because she did, in the end, find Simon.
Mm. Because afterwards, you know, after that scene closes, it becomes clear that they are all together in a very dead way.
Yeah, very dead way.
And we see that they are very dead because there's a headstone to commemorate them.
Exactly.
Laura, Simon, and all the orphan children,
yeah.
who I can't remember all the names of, apart from Victor and Thomas.
Yeah. I'm so thankful, because I got really worried about it when all the orphan kids were in their beds and stuff. I was like, is Thomas not going to be a part of this?
Oh, yeah.
I was really going to be really sad if he wasn't a part of it. And then he came in and I was like, oh, good.
Thank God, yeah. And he didn't
have
his mask on. I was so glad about that. I was like,
same.
finally.
God. Yeah.
But it was a really... And the music as well.
Right.
Something about that tune gets me because it's creepy but beautiful and sad and lovely all at the same time. I don't know. I just think that I'm a slut for soundtracks. And, you know, like, sometimes there are ones with films that just work so well. And that is one of them. Yeah. That's really one well. That, like, every time that scene at the end gets me crying. Yeah. Because it's so sad, but it's so nice that...
Yeah. I was too scared to cry.
Oh, no, I was in tears by that point.
Oh, bless you.
The tears from before were fear. This time it was just...
It was
a bit
really
sad.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously, Carlos... I feel so bad for him. I can't imagine what that must have been like. He literally, obviously doesn't hear from her. No. He goes to pick her up and he finds her body.
And Simon's body.
And then she's holding Simon's body. Yeah. So he's like, my wife found our son and now they're both dead. Like, what occurred here?
And he didn't stay with them.
No.
He probably thinks, oh, I could have helped this. I could have stopped this from happening.
Mm.
But no, he didn't stay with them. So he probably has that regret that I never stayed with my wife. I never believed her, and now both of them are dead, and I'm completely alone.
Mm.
So
it's sad.
It's
I do
devastating.
feel awful for him that, like, obviously he discovered that, and
yeah,
I can't imagine like what someone that discovers something like that like would be thinking.
No, you can't imagine it. You can't put yourself. It's just something that is. You can't explain it. And as writers, we should be able to explain it, but we can't. There's just no words for it.
I mean, there's only so far we can go when it comes to pain.
There is only so far we can go.
So the last scene, when he walks into the room, he's clearly sold the house.
Yes.
Because there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
And he's walking through it in a way that you do when you move in house and you're saying goodbye to it.
Very nostalgic.
I've been there one too many times in the past few years. How many times have I moved now?
Like 11.
Is that it? Yeah, pretty much. But, you know, he finds the necklace.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, is the sad part of she found their son, so
Yeah.
he gets his necklace back.
Yeah.
He looks up and he has that sort of smile on his face because the doors open by themselves. Do you think he actually sees them, or do you think it's like he just feels them there? And you know when people are like, oh, I just knew that they were there.
Yeah, maybe he just feels them there, I think. I feel like he would never have seen them, but I think he knows that they're safe now. Those doors opening, he knows they're safe now. Nothing can hurt them now, I know. So I think, I feel like it is that sentimental feeling of, I know they were there. Yeah. I know they're going to be taken care of, sort of thing. And that his wife and his child are going to be together.
Yeah.
So he can just do his bit while he's alive and they can just be there.
I wonder what happened to him.
I wonder.
Sequel. It would probably be a really bad
It
sequel.
would be. Well, I've heard there's going to be a reboot. There's been needing to be an American reboot for years.
No,
I'm not even kidding. Just read the subtitles.
Literally, there's just
what is wrong with subtitles? Once you get past subtitles,
literally,
there are so many more films you can enjoy.
Exactly, because I used to, and I'm sorry, but I used to be one of those people that's like, oh, I can't be bothered to read the subtitles. But
no, what you mean,
this film did introduce me to it massively because it was so good, and I was like, that was so worth just paying attention to the subtitles. That was a cracking film.
It was cracking.
Subtitles didn't make that shit at all, and now I watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean. Still scares the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, same. It's still terrifying.
If I do watch it, because I've watched it a number of times now, there are parts of it where I know what they're saying just because it's in Spanish. I don't need to read the subtitles anymore because I've seen it one too many times. But it's such a good film, and I don't think subtitles should hold you back from foreign films.
No. It really shouldn't. You open yourself up to so many more opportunities once you get past the fact that you have to read a little bit.
Yeah.
Be thankful you can fucking read.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? That's all I have to say.
Oh, I had one more point.
What's your point?
It's more of like, I'm going to ask you because this is what I keep doing now. I'm like, what does this mean,
What
Davina?
does this mean?
What did you... Well, it's nice to have a fresh perspective as well because
It is.
I've seen it a lot of times and I saw it first time when I was 15.
Yeah.
You watched it for the first time this weekend, just gone.
Literally.
So it's nice to
have a fresh eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you pointed it out for me, that's not how he died.
Yeah.
He probably died this way, and it's like, that makes sense.
And it's nice for me to have someone who's watched it so many times because you kind of see the bits that I've missed the first time. Do you know what I mean?
I watched it way too many times. I have to stop. Basically, when Laura, before she overdoses,
yes,
and she's holding her son and she's upstairs and she sees the lighthouse light, which is supposed to be broken, and she sees her younger self running away. Her younger self is looking up the window and then running away. Yeah. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
And you don't know either.
Maybe that
I've never figured it out.
I don't know. What does that mean?
I don't know. I just never put those bits together.
No.
I can't quite figure it out.
It's like she's waving her past self goodbye, or she's kind of replacing that self with her new self, or something. I don't know. Maybe the lighthouse is there because she finally found her way back home.
Maybe because the whole point of a lighthouse is to guide you in, isn't it?
It's to guide you home, yeah.
The only other thing that I can think of is maybe because all the spirits of the children were there, apart from her, because she was adopted.
Yeah.
But now she's there, just not in her childlike form.
Yeah.
She's now the mother to them.
Yeah.
So the child part of her can't stay.
No, it can't stay.
I don't know. That doesn't seem to be the reason.
That's
the only thing that I can think of.
If you guys know the reason, feel free to let us know.
If anyone
please
knows how to get in contact with Del Toro so that we can ask him.
Literally, or J.A Bayona.
What is the meaning?
What is the meaning of her seeing her past self? Bit of Gatsby in there, really.
Ooh.
You know how Gatsby is just so...
I love Gatsby.
Oh, same. You know how he's just so obsessed with kind of getting things back to the way they were?
Yeah, you can't repeat the past. Yes, you can.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a green light, funnily enough, in Gatsby.
Yes, there is.
He looks out across the base of the green light. It's like Laura looking out to the lighthouse and things have gone back to the way they were, but in a new, different way.
Yes,
It's
because
weird,
Gatsby tries to repeat the past,
He
and
does.
to an extent he does, because he gets the same things back, just not in the same situation.
Yes,
which is exactly what Laura's got. Same things, different situation.
Yeah. Laura's actually Gatsby, confirmed.
Oh, shit. This is an essay I was not expecting to be writing, but in this essay I will.
Wow.
That was brilliant.
It was brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're welcome for my amazing presents.
Oh, same. Thank you.
Thank you, I guess.
Thank you.
You were all
for
right.
thanking me.
So the Orphanage, personally, I would give it like.
What's our creep show factor out of 10?
Because like I said, I've watched this film. I'm really fussy with horror films. There are not many horror films that I will tell you are really good.
Yeah.
But The Orphanage is one of them. So I would give it like a 9, 10.
Okay. Good. See, for me, in terms of it doesn't use cheap scares. It doesn't use just random jump scares. It definitely frightens you on more of a psychological level than it does and sort of making your heart pound sort of thing and making you jump at loud noises.
100%.
So, yeah. So, and music's fantastic. The story, while simple, really effective.
Yeah.
The music, brilliant. The scenery, the tones of the whole film, and the acting, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, but thing is, I'm going to have to give it an 8.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I'll let it go this one.
Yeah, we'll do that every week. Our creep
fine,
show crew factor.
Obviously, people like different horror films for different reasons.
Yes.
So my taste is different to yours.
Yeah.
Just because everyone's tastes are different.
Exactly. See, the thing is, whereas when it comes to Get Out, which we will be watching at some point, I'd give that 10 out of 10 instantly. I don't know why.
I need to watch it.
That's on our list.
On the list.
It's on the list. Okay, so are we ready to say goodbye?
I'm never ready to say goodbye.
So thank you to whoever is out there for listening.
I'm sorry if we set your ears on fire.
Oh, honestly, if you just kind of listen to 5 minutes, well, like, that's enough.
I'm already done with myself, guys, so, you know.
Well, at least you don't have to fucking edit it.
I'll do the next one.
Yeah, you can do
Show
the
me
next
how.
one. Oh, you can do the next one. Perfect.
Brilliant. This was Creep Show Crew, signing off.
Signing off. Bye.